in ministry because they are called to be in ministry. I get so sick of entitlement. Just because of who I am, what I've done, what my name is. Jesus isn't concerned about your name, who you are, what you've done. He's concerned about your heart. But Judas lost the privilege of participation in ministry. He lost heaven's reward. So there must be some priceless lessons that we can learn from the life of Judas Iscariot. Number one, the first lesson that he teaches, Judas refused to change. Problem number one is when we refuse to change. Judas was there when the blind eyes were open. Is anybody awake? Judas was there when he saw the lepers leaping and being cleansed and shouting that I'm clean, I'm clean. He was there when the lame ran the aisles of the synagogue after they was told to take up their bed and walk. Judas was there when the stone was rolled away and Jesus told Lazarus, come forth. He was there. And yet he continued to remain unchanged. He was never really changed by Jesus. In John chapter 6, verse 70, I believe this was the day after that Jesus selected the disciples. He said, when Jesus chose the 12, he said, I chose you 12, and one of you is the devil. The sad story is this. Judas started out a devil, walked with Jesus for 3 years, and he ended a devil. This teaches us a powerful truth. He never really allowed Jesus to change him. He refused change. He never let what he heard or what he saw change who he was. The sad truth is this, that it isn't enough just to be where Jesus is.
Yes, Jesus.
It isn't enough just to be around Jesus. It isn't enough to hear the word of Jesus taught to you. It isn't enough to associate with fellow believers. The greatest change, listen, the greatest challenge is when we allow God to change us. Real change takes Jesus.
Yes,
Real
Jesus.
change is going to take more than you.
Yes, Jesus.
Well, I just decided. Okay, you decided what? To give up drugs? Until you allow Jesus to change you. Christianity is about a better you, a freer you, a more like Jesus you. And I don't ever want to get so churchy.
Yes,
I don't ever want to get so churchy that I can hang around Jesus, but never really be changed, transformed, and convicted by Jesus. I think I said this last Sunday, is that we've replaced conviction by being, what did I call it? Offended.
Yes, Jesus.
We used to come to church, get convicted. Now we just get offended. The reason why is because nobody's ever wrong. Conviction, when the Holy Spirit convicts us, lets us know we stepped out of line. How many of you had parents and when you stepped out of line, they let you know you stepped out of line and swatted you on the rear end? Dennis, you're a two-hand man. Sometimes I feel like my mother was using both hands. I remember one time I did something I shouldn't have done, and I deserved it. He deserved it. She caught me in a lie. I lied right to her face. Aaron Mike, listen, your mom's looking over at you. Just listen. I lied to her. She said, you're lying. I just had a conversation with your uncle, and he told me what went down. I went, oh, no. She reached up on the cabinet, pulled off the butter paddle. Anybody remember what a butter paddle was? It was what they used to churn the butter and all that, and she pulled that thing down. I went, oh, have mercy. And I remember she told me, she said, now bend over. And I remember I bent over, she grabbed my arm, and she started laying it on me. And I remember coming straight up, and she had a hold of my arm, and she never stopped. I remember taking both hands and going right here. Guess what? My